I've been to California a total of 3 times. Once was to go to the Redwood Forest, and twice was to go to Disneyland. Because I'm definitely American. Oh, I'll be right back.
Yeah, awkward silence. Sorry, I'm dealing with some backing stuff, so we're just kind of chilling while we wait to get into the second warm up here. Well, we're riding to California, so we are going to be into our second warm up here after we got things fixed up. So we are chilling on the specular pick. It just makes sense. And once more RME fan in, despite not actually, I think, playing this year. Correct? Not actually on the team, but he's in here for warm ups anyway.
Cool.
So I guess that's cool.
Yep, definitely very cool. Are we going to be seeing the... No, they're only a third of the way through the map. Surely.
I don't know. I think we just I think that was just a panic. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but we should be all right here. All right. Well, we're riding to California. It's our second warm-up. We are kind of just chilling our way through this until we actually start the match. I don't actually have a great feel for what I anticipate out of these teams in terms of, like pick and ban strategy. Let me pull up real quick here their previous matches, and I can see the SoCal went into NoMod 3, FreeMod 3, DT3, NoMods 1 and 2, so they had some tech, they had some kind of gimmicky picks, as well as a little bit of speed. Washington, I mean, they just won 6-1. Like, that match wasn't close at all, and they kind of speed abused. They went DT2, NoMod... Well, they went DT2, and then they went NoMod 3, NoMod 2, DT1. So that was just a match where Washington could win anything against the Georgia team. So, not a lot to necessarily take away with that one when one team was just clearly overmatched.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what Washington goes with, just because SoCal doesn't have as much information on Washington as they probably want to have. Although I do believe SoCal probably the more all-around better team in this match. But right now we're just gonna do a quick caster switch here. I've been Juno. Thank you to this one guy for casting along with me, and we're gonna be adding in Miles here. So welcome, Miles, and have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Juno, for having been here for the last couple matches. Appreciate your efforts to the cause, and indeed, welcome into Miles. Good evening. It is Miles joins us for SoCal Washington. Welcome. Thoughts on SoCal Washington, Miles?
I have a lot of thoughts on this match. First off, Washington has had kind of this like insane streak of matches where they play teams without their best players. It's happened like 3 matches now. They played Georgia without Razorfruit, New Jersey without Gaby and Siru, and then I think Oklahoma without White Gat. So now coming into SoCal with assumably their full roster. Not sure how that's going to go, but SoCal has kind of had a tendency this tournament to play like these really close matches when you don't expect them to. Like SoCal in the past has been like this dominant force that you can never like stack up against, but they've been playing lots of close matches this year, and Washington is historically a team of destiny. So I don't know. For how chaotic this tournament has been, I think this could go to tiebreaker.
Back-to-back tiebreakers in the late Sunday night block would be a sight to behold for sure. It wouldn't surprise me. Washington has looked solid. SoCal has looked, as you said, not quite themselves. SoCal with another tiebreaker would be a pretty wild affair after tiebreaker against Minnesota, tiebreaker against Virginia, nearly tiebreaker against Oregon. So just slap another one in there.
Yeah, I mean, with how some of these Washington players have been playing, like, it's definitely possible. Looking at, probably their gimmick roster is going to be a spot where they can score points against SoCal. With how Ethan Trix has been playing, with how Conrad Mitten historically has played on gimmickier maps, it's something that I think Washington could be eager to pick into SoCal, but I'm really not sure who that third would be if they do opt into those picks.
Well, it's going to be a couple of somewhat more straightforward bans to start it off. We go Hidden 3 speed ban from SoCal. We go Free Mod 2 flow aim ban from Washington. So not going to be targeting that gimmick skill set as of yet. Second bans perhaps could change that up, but if you're SoCal banning Hidden 3 first, you're probably going to go something... Nope, you're going to go Free Mod 4. Okay, there is going to be the gimmick ban.
So wait, does that mean 3 free mods have been banned out of the 4 bans?
2 out of the 3. It's Free Mod 2 and Free Mod 4, with the other ban so far being Hidden 3. 1 ban to come. It could be, if Washington bans Free Mod 1 or Free Mod 3, it could be 3 Free Mod bans.
But it's going to be Hidden 2. This map has been really unpopular, and I would say I don't know why, but I really do know why.
Yeah, Hidden 3 has been banned... So Hidden 3 has been banned 4 times, picked none. Hidden 2 has been banned 5 times, picked 1. We just don't get to see these maps. If you look through the bans, it's just a wall of hiddens. And Washington first pick. When you are this roster and you just had Hidden 3 Free Mod 4 banned into you, you go No Mod 2 first, I guess, and you just opt straight into some tech.
Yeah, establishing a foothold on tech, pretty good strategy for them. I thought they would opt into the Hidden 1 first, because that overlaps with a few of their strengths more, like put Verderix on some Hidden, put Ethan Trix on the Hidden, have Conrad in the lobby as well. That would be a good 3-man on Hidden 1 that I expect them to run in the future. So, little bit curious for this being the first pick, but still, if they can win this, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of this as a first pick. I need to take a look, actually. I don't know offhand. Let me find their MP, see if they played this in their first match. I don't know that they did. Oh, I lied. They did indeed play this. So it was Conrad, Vince, Ethan for Washington. They only dropped 1.4 mil. Not an incredible score, not a bad score either. But they are confident enough based on that score and the potential improvement that you often see from one round of losers to the next in the same weekend. Gives them enough confidence to feel like this is a solid first pick.
Yeah, for sure. And I know these guys can do a lot better than 1.4 million on this with the 3 of them. All very known tech players.
Wait, their scores were... Wait. What? I feel like this has happened before, but... So, Washington's score on this was 1,412,000. SoCal's score on this was 1,412,000. Their scores were literally 80 points apart.
Hey, I remember when that happened in OWC on Coco no Sose. Except it was double that amount, actually. It was like 162 points.
Well, let us begin. And into our first map we go. Utami 315 recoil, Conrad, Ethan, and Vince. One of these teams will stay alive into finals week. The other one will be eliminated here in top 8. It is a challenge ahead of us for both teams. And I'm excited to see the twists and turns that this match is almost certain to take.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the storylines at play in this match have the potential to go completely wild with, you know, Washington's destiny, SoCal playing a lot of close matches. But for those narratives to go, I think we need Washington to do well in this pick, and Vince finding the early break is not going to help that cause, as SoCal still has the 3-way, especially as Ethan Tricks goes down as well. But 315 is going to trade that as well as Rico L, so it's going to be Conrad and Utami fighting, both with very good accuracy on the top of the screen. And I think that battle is probably going to determine this one, because nobody else has really brought up the combo. And there's Conrad going down. Only Vince at 380 combo, but that's nothing compared to Utami's FC.
And that's always the concern going against SoCal this year. You know, we've been uncertain as to which version of Utami is going to show up, whether it's going to be the historically dominant Utami of the past, or whether it's going to be the somewhat more middle-of-the-road Utami that we've seen quite frequently in this tournament. He's had his good days and his bad days in this, I believe, his return really to tournament play after his lengthy absence. And if you get the version of Utami that comes in at FC's maps like this, then you are in dire straits as the opponents. Even with breaks coming throughout the lobby, it is still just Utami versus Vince, and it's a 1K combo versus a 350 combo. And this is going to be SoCal, despite the late break from Utami, it's going to be SoCal taking the break point to start the match off.
Yeah, and improving on their score from yesterday as well. That 1.4 mil going up to around 1.6 mil. Rounding up, and Washington, unfortunately, going down 200K on their score from yesterday, so it's going to be that early break point for SoCal going into their own first pick. And I think against this Washington team, they're probably keen on going for some speed abuse.
Well, this Washington team actually does have some decent DT players. I mean, they put up a pretty solid team score on Revolution. They put up, I think, another speed play in here somewhere. Yeah, they put up a solid score on DT1 as well. But those were scores relative to Georgia, and I suppose the scores relative to SoCal might be quite different. So speed abuse is your prediction. The options in the pool for that, you've got DT 1, 2, and 3, as well as Free Mod 3 as the DT and or speed options available, with the Hidden 2 being banned out, as well as the Free Mod 2 Flow Aim being banned out.
But honestly, I've seen this being talked about in Map Pool Flame as well. There's not too many dedicated speed maps in this pool. Like, the DT1 and DT2 are both, like, kind of more awkward, gimmicky DT and aim in those slots, and then the DT3 is really the only dedicated speed map in the DT pool. So I see them picking that, but then the DT1 and 2 gonna be riskier picks. When I say speed abuse, I mean more traditional speed abuse, and the traditional speed maps in this pool, Hidden 2 and I believe Fremont 3, both banned, so only that DT3. Okay, no, I tell a lie.
Yeah, Fremont 3 is up,
yeah. Little Slugger.
Yeah, Fremont 3, a logical sort of first pick here for SoCal. As you said, it's speed abuse. You put in Utami, and that goes a long way as far as this skill set goes. And looking back at their previous MP, SoCal did not play this in their first... Wait. SoCal... No, I lied. SoCal did play this in their first match. They had 2 S ranks on Caleb and Utami en route to a 1.875 million team score. Very good on that side of things. Washington did not play this, so no scores to compare to there.
This map has been kind of awkward. I feel like all the speed maps this week have been pretty awkward. Karma Nations is a map where a lot of people miss on the fast aim sections. This is another map we've seen people miss on the awkward Zapey jumps. They almost feel like snow note jumps in a way, where the angles just catch people off. And the bursts, they are hard, but the OD is pretty low. You're able to mash your way through this and still get pretty decent accuracy. So it's going to matter a lot about the combo on this one.
Yeah, and I think even with SoCal putting up a 1.8 mil, like, they can actually improve on that, right? If you turn those 2 S ranks into FCs, the score goes up by like 500k or more. So SoCal has the opportunity to be very scary on this map. And I do like this as a first pick for them here. We should be able to ready up and get going. Caleb Hidden and 315 Hard Rock with Utami on Nomad is the prediction based on their previous match. Coolnuck, Ethantrix, WarpsCon, I don't actually know who goes which mods, but we're about to find out anyway, so it's fine.
Definitely Ethantrix on the Hidden, but kind of indifferent between Coolnuck and WarpsCon on the Hard Rock. Probably, yep, it's going to be WarpsCon taking Hard Rock. Coolnuck on the Nomad. Washington, if they win this pick, it would be an unreal breakpoint to respond to SoCal's early breakpoint.
They have their work cut out for them against a very good predicted team score from South California on this map. Early stages will get you kind of settled in, get a little bit of a break. WarpsCon down at the A rank FC. I believe he is still holding the FC, just, nope, he did not. I lied. He broke the first 20 combo. I am sorry. So it's SoCal with a little bit of advantage. WarpsCon breaking again. I talked about this in the previous match as we start to get into this early aim section. The Hard Rock starts to become a little bit more of a tank mod. There goes Utami on the aim as well as Caleb. And just like that, it's Washington with the advantage. The double FC on Coolnuck and on Ethantrix. 315, the only combo left on SoCal. This is that first really difficult section. And the accuracy, I think, helping out SoCal as Ethantrix falls. And now the combo and the accuracy going to help out SoCal.
I cannot believe that this is an aim map. So many players are missing on the aim. 315 going down on that easier section. And now Coolnuck, the only FC remaining on the Nomad, gets a slower section to try and pull Washington back into this pick. Ethantrix finds a drop right after the break as well. It's not going to be too big of a combo lead as Utami and Caleb both have reestablished some combo to be able to just about equalize the FC from Coolnuck. So the only real advantage comes on the 280 combo from WarpsCon.
And you also do have to look, as WarpsCon breaks on the aim in the slow part, you also have to look at the accuracy. 99s on Utami and Caleb versus 95 on Ethan, 96 on WarpsCon. The breaks come through for SoCal, 315, Caleb both falling. WarpsCon goes down again. There goes Coolnuck. And there goes the chance, I think, for Washington. Ethantrix only on a 250. Utami has recovered up to nearly 600 combo. And yeah, this is just an aim map, actually. Almost no breaks on the tapping sections of the map. All of the misses have been on the aim patterns, but it has worked out in SoCal's favor. And they are going to take the point here into the ending, that awkward little section. Going to cause another break from a couple players, but despite the drop by nearly 200k from their first score of the week, SoCal will take this point, for this map, for the second time this weekend. It's a consolidated break point early on in this match for the 2-0 lead.
Washington had a few avenues in there. Coolnuck did put up the second highest score in the lobby, only being beaten by Utami with that insane 1/101 miss score, but didn't really have the help from WarpsCon and Ethantrix, both finding breaks primarily on the aim, unfortunately. But now pick back in their ballpark, and they get to pick another map. I think it's going to be Hidden 1 still.
I would be fine with the Hidden 1 here for Washington, despite losing the Nomad 2. I think it's all right. I agree with that take. Washington, other picks did they opt into in that first match? They went into Death Piano. I don't think you pick that against SoCal. They went into DT1. I don't think, and as well as DT2, I don't really pick either of those against SoCal either. So Hidden 1 I agree with, and I think we're going to see a lot of pick adaptations in this matchup from Washington versus a SoCal team that's very different than Georgia.
I also kind of like the remaining free mod. I think Aishte is still up. As much as I love hating that map, I think it is. Yep, it's gonna be Aishte. Okay, here we
that's
go.
What he was. That's what I get it. I see what he did there. I don't think it's funny, but I see what he did there.
I think it's hilarious. That was a good one, Ethantrix.
Very, very, very funny joke. Everyone, please laugh. So yeah, it's CS5 AR8 free mod 1. It is just brutal stack overlap reading.
Yeah, this map is pretty brutal. It is CS5 AR8 with everything in the pattern, or I heard Dada describe it in a way that I really like. This map, every single pattern in this map tries to make you uncomfortable. You have these really like slow but short sliders followed by extremely high spaced linear jumps that can just catch you off guard so easily. And we've seen a lot of success on this on easy actually, so I'm really curious to see who opts into that. We've seen some easy coming out from both of these teams this tournament. Potentially could see it from Conrad and or Ethan Tricks on the side of Washington. Not too sure who does it on SoCal. Maybe Utami if he practiced it.
Hey, Utami, you know, pretty solid reading player. 315 has been known to play some easy before, so that's another option. But we'll see. I don't know who the third is necessarily. Caleb? Yep, there you go. Utami 315 Caleb. Vince Conrad Ethan. GLHF's come out, so I believe that is accurate. We'll just have to see what the finalized mod choices end up being.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this as well. This and 1985, we've seen some wacky mod combos. This doesn't hold a candle to 1985 in terms of the wackiness, but seeing what people opt into. This is a very easy, viable map. And we're going to be seeing it, Utami, and potentially Ethan Tricks if he loads in. But it's just going to be the hidden for Ethan Tricks. So one easy on Utami, joined by 315 on the hard rock, Caleb on hidden, Vince hard rock, Conrad no mod, Ethan Tricks hidden. So we have almost the minimalist mod loadout if Utami went no mod.
Yeah, it's almost surprising to see the mods having gone the way they did on this. I feel like normally you seem at least like at least one more easy than this, but minimalist mod players in this one. Gonna be watching a couple things really, right? This is tricky on hard rock with the smaller circles. Everything on easy just is difficult in the way that easy makes maps, and of course hidden on this you kind of just have to be a low AR hidden specialist because the reading is very tricky. It's going to be the first break from Vince on the side of Washington. Conrad followed up as well as Caleb, so those two are traded, but it's 2 FCs to 1 in SoCal's favor in the early goings. Only a quarter of the way through this one. Reasonably long, 3.5 minutes.
This map on hard rock is really hard for a unique reason. It's one of those really rare situations where low density is a super difficult aspect of the map, and you can just see it in the struggles from the hard rock players. 315 and Vince both finding some breaks, but if you look closely, there's really only one note on the screen at once when you're playing this with HR, and that's a symptom that happens when you play extremely low BPM on hard rock, and it makes reading an absolute nightmare, and it makes AR10 feel like a lot higher than that.
There are going to be a couple more breaks from Washington with Vince and Ethan both missing. Utami, the lone FC left in the lobby, and Conrad, the only combo on the side of Washington at just about 300. With Caleb and 315 having built back up until the break from 315 just then, SoCal going to find themselves owners of about 100,000 point lead at the halfway mark. And it's going to be larger than that as well, I should say. It's actually more like a, a 400,000 point lead with the easy score from Utami being added in with the multiplier. So thus far in this SoCal advantage, it is a break from Caleb, so the second combo gone, but look at the side of Washington. It is only Conrad on any sort of combo at all.
Yeah, and his accuracy is also much lower than the accuracies on the side of SoCal. Utami on the 99. This is like a poster child performance for why the easy multiplier got reduced for a while in a lot of other tournaments, because when you're good at easy and it's a 2x multiplier, you can just go absolutely batshit crazy on some of these maps. Utami just proving that right now.
This is a wildly impressive score from Utami in a weekend that we've seen a lot of easy plays on this map. He is adding to the illustrious scores that have been achieved. Conrad showing good stuff on the no mod, but unfortunately lacking the support, and there's the break on that big jump near the end. Lacking the support was Conrad that he would have needed from the team, and despite the fact that nothing incredible was done by 315 or Caleb, you have Utami looking to bring the FC on into the ending, and it will be, let's see, will it be an easy FC for Utami? It indeed is.
Dance.
Easy FC from Utami to put the finishing touches on the map. SoCal wins it without even needing the easy multiplier. Conrad with the 529k, but looking at the team around him, just didn't get the support that he needed. And that is SoCal up 3-0. Double break point already. Two somewhat suboptimal picks to open this matchup for Washington, and SoCal has a chance to really put their stamp on this match if they can win their next point.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be tough for them now. 2 break points down. SoCal with the next pick, and can only assume that's going to be the DT3 after how Lil Slugger went.
They have all of the DTs available, but I think, yeah, as you said, DT3, the highest BPM of those, so the most, I think, likely. SoCal kind of can just do whatever they want here. It feels like, based on the way the first 2 picks have gone, Washington's going to need to find something completely different, it seems, to get an inroad into this match.
Lots of different types of maps in this pool you could go into. I kind of like the optics of something like the HR2. We've seen, even on Utami's good days during his comeback, on the longer maps, we've seen him seemingly break on nothing in some of the longer maps, and I think that Hard Rock 2 could be a good pick for them going forward. But for SoCal, it feels like when you're up 3-0 at this point in the matchup, it just looks so much better on about everything. They can kind of go wherever they want, and they've got a lot of options. But it's going to be the HR1. This is a spicy one. For similar reasons to why Aishte is so difficult, I could say that this map is really difficult. It's 85 BPM, CS 7.9. You have all these ridiculous squares where you only see 1 or 2 notes on the screen at once. So, very much a reaction test is this map.
And I'm surprised to see this pick here from SoCal, considering that it seems they're very advantaged on the speedy picks. I'm surprised to not see them go into one of those DTs we were talking about. But if you have very comfortable precision players for this map, that would be the logic behind selecting it here, as it is, of course, CS 7.9. That's the whole thing about it. It feels like a map like this, it's so easy to be inconsistent on, because it requires just such a high degree of precise aim. So I don't know what to make of that particular concept in this matchup, but SoCal feels that they have the advantage on it, and so far they've been right about having the advantage on all 3 maps we've played, so perhaps that trend will continue.
Yeah, but I'm still not the biggest fan of picking something this volatile, but I guess you have that freedom when you're up 2 breakpoints, so we'll see how this goes. You're Cute 315 Utami up against Vince, Conrad, and Verterix.
Yeah, and that is kind of the point to take away as well, is if you are up 2 breakpoints, your next pick after that is essentially a freebie. If you are feeling like you have other picks, you can leave them and pick into something a little riskier. If it doesn't go well, oh well, you still have a breakpoint in your pocket and you still have better options. And if it does go well, then you've got kind of a free double consolidated breakpoint out of it. So in we're gonna go, and we will see over the course of this map if it was indeed the right selection, a highly challenging precision pick. As SoCal looks to extend their lead out to 4-0, it's 315 to break first in the lobby.
It's going to be matched by Vince right after, as we see accuracy start to suffer. Vince down at 94. Conrad going to find a break as well, so combo lead there for SoCal despite the extra breaks. But here come the squares. Who's going to break? There goes Verterix. So now no FCs left on Washington, but Yurkyu going to break on a slider right after the squares. So once again, it's the Utami show right now as we get into the next set of squares. Is he going to hold through this one too? And he does. Is it time to sound the alarm that Utami is actually back now? Because I don't remember the last time he's missed in this match since Lil Slugger.
Yeah, Utami looking like, it's that John Wick bit. People keep asking me if I'm back, and Utami, well, he's thinking he's back. Drops the FC on Aishite, drops the 723k 1 miss on a little slugger, dropped the 747k one miss on Trapple Bewitching, and now holding the FC for longer than anybody else here on You Need to Calm Down, the Precision Hard Rock pick. Top score after top score so far in this match from Utami. He's putting on a masterclass clinic for this lobby and for the viewers so far tonight. Still has a ways to go, but this is the way that he wanted to get started. This is what we expected out of him back when he was that force to be reckoned with a couple years ago at the top of the game. And maybe reaching those lofty heights once more, as finally the first break does come, but it is a full lobby reset with a 300k advantage for SoCal.
Yeah, it's grim now for Washington. And you know, should just stop questioning any pick from SoCal. When Utami is confident that he can top score a map, they are going to pick it because he is just playing absolutely insane so far in this match. 600k plus, top score in the lobby by far. Next highest being Verterix, who's 170k-ish behind, so a very comfortable win for SoCal on Taylor Swift.
Comfortable win and a point in the match where you very much enjoy having a comfortable win, because that gives them the double consolidated breakpoint 4-0 lead. They will be 2 points away from advancing to the next round. Washington already in dire straits. Unsuccessful on the first pick in the no mod pool. Unsuccessful on the second pick in the free mod pool. So now if you're Washington, you're sounding the alarm because your pick strategy is not working so far. And I'm not sure where you necessarily go next. And if Utami is going to continue top scoring maps in this lobby by 200,000 points, it's going to be a bit concerning as to whether or not Washington can have any sort of chance in this match.
Okay, at this point, if you're Washington, you need a shot in the dark. And so far, the best shots in the dark I've seen on this map pool are Coco no Sose and Coco no Sose. But it's going to be the hidden one finally. Okay, this is a pick I wanted to see earlier on in the match, but still, I think really good for Washington. You put Ethan Trix and potentially Verterix on their comfortable mods, as well as Conrad on the tech. Or maybe Vince instead of Verta on this. Also very good at this skill set.
I feel like we need to see Ethan Trix stepping up here. He was a player that is key, it feels, to their success as the stages go on farther and farther. Needs to perform a little stronger than the first two picks. SoCal, on this map, I mean, again, it's just like Utami expected to do well because Utami is always expected to do well. And after that, it's a little bit more of a question mark. I don't know what's going on in the lobby. They're doing some weird, like, land takeover role-playing thing. I don't know.
SoCal is now a state of Washington.
Wasn't that like a Poland joke of some sort from like 4 years ago?
That everyone is just a state of Poland? Yeah. But it's gonna be Verterix coming in over Vince on this, so everyone on that roster either a hidden player or a tech player. So I still really like the optics of this pick for Washington, but with how SoCal's been performing today, it's gonna be really tough. Tommy, you're cute Caleb against Verta, Conrad, and Ethan Trix, so see how this one goes for Washington. This is potentially their last pick of the tournament if SoCal does manage to take this one and their own next pick. So for Washington, gotta hope to get that point on the board on this one.
In we go. And indeed, it does feel like a must-win here for Washington. As you said, it's early break from Yurikyu. It's an early break from Utami as well. If Washington can find some picks that Utami isn't going to top score the lobby on, that'll be vital to them trying to make it through this match in some fashion. So far, so good on this pick as they do make it through the intro with a triple FC intact with only Caleb holding for SoCal. And Yurikyu falls once more. Maybe this is the route. It's largely meaningless. There's no other hidden and not really any other tech either. but it would still be a point, and that's really the important part here.
I mean, you need to get your moral victories when you're going up against a team like SoCal, and you're just getting outgunned, it seems, at every turn. So, performance like this for the first half of this map, as Caleb finds a drop, Washington finally looking to be very advantaged on this pick. Utami and Yurku still have the combos to go at it if Washington do find the breaks. But as of right now, that's not going to happen. But there are some kind of tricky streams. There's one expanding stream come up that we've seen a lot of people break on, and I think that could be the next massive point of contention right here. Who's going to break? It's only Caleb. So that's still good for Washington.
Everything is good for Washington here on this pick so far. We're about to reach the halfway mark of this map, and they are still holding a triple FC and looking good while doing so. Near 99 AC for both Conrad and Ethan. Finally, the first break will come from Verterix. The lowest AC player drops, but with a double FC still intact, it's not by any means the end of the world. The lead is 240,000 points. See what if Conrad and Ethan can continue to hold. It's going to be Utami and Yurku needing to hold the FCs. And we'll see what they can do here. But it is still Ethan and Conrad holding it down for Washington.
Yeah, and the hardest section of the map as well. Some of these space triples are really brutal. We see Utami and Caleb go down. Ethan Trix and Conrad keep going through the space triples. Yurku breaks, and we have a double FC into the ending of this map. That is an insane performance from Conrad and Ethan Trix on that section. And Washington, the moral victory, the point on the board against SoCal in what seems to be dominating fashion. And right now, just look at Conrad and Ethan Trix. Let's see if they can pull out these insane FCs.
And I mean, this is just an insane score from both of them. It's in both of their wheelhouses. This is definitely a map that you look at and say Ethan and Conrad can and will do well on this. I don't know that anybody anticipated they would do quite this well. As finally, Utami's streak of top scorers in this match will come to an end. And Conrad and Ethan into the ending, into the last couple hundred combo through some very difficult space patterns. Conrad falls off. Ethan holds. Can he hit the last few circles into the ending? And indeed he can. And there's a big long outro ending here, but it is an Ethan full combo on the hidden one. Very, very well done to him. 970k. And that will be Washington getting a point on the board in pretty dominant fashion as well. 670,000 points. That was actually by far the most one-sided map we've seen yet in this match. And it was by the team that came into it down 4-0.
I knew this would be a really good pick for Washington. I was really surprised that they waited until now to pick it, but Ethan and Conrad, that dynamic duo on the tech, just getting it done. And now, yep, not enough for Washington. We see that state pride coming out from Ethan Trix.
Unfortunately, Washington still has a pretty steep hill to climb if they want to get back into this match, because they did it once, but now they got to do it 3 more times. SoCal 2 points away with that 4-1 lead in hand. They still do have those 2 break points in their favor as well. And it's going to be a Hard Rock 2 pick. You had mentioned this earlier as something that Washington might want to go into, because we've seen some consistency concerns from SoCal, and this map is over 5 minutes long. But here they are going to pick it themselves.
Yep, and I don't know how I feel about this pick, because earlier I justified this as being a potential pick for Washington. So I feel like this is kind of SoCal throwing them a bone. They still have the DT3 available. They still have the rest of the DT pool available, but deciding to opt into this instead. But they know things that we don't, so we will not question it until something maybe goes wrong.
And so currently no Utami in the lobby. Gotta figure he's gonna be in for everything, but you never know. It's Caleb, Easy Chalk, and 315 at the moment. And there is gonna be Utami. And wow, okay, everybody's just okay, fair enough. The consistency concerns for Utami, you know, the hidden one that was just played aside, seem to have not been such an issue in this match so far, as he top scored all 4 maps previously. So if that was the only concern you had for this as to why SoCal might not be great at this map, I think that may have been allayed a bit. don't know that Washington necessarily is at the level they need to be at. The consistency looked good on the hidden one, but it has not looked great otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, Conrad Mitten, player I'm looking at for Washington on this one once again, very good at these awkward alt maps through the years. This is something that he would very notoriously FC this map with very low accuracy back in like 2020. And I think he has the potential to really pop off here in this matchup against SoCal. But with how SoCal's been playing in this match, can't count them out. Bringing in Easy Chalk, I believe, for the first time this match to join 315 and Utami up against Conrad, joined by Cool Nuck and Vince.
The Easy Chalk, we'll see if he proves to be the difference maker. His first appearance, as you said, in this match. See what kind of impact he can have. And it is just a lengthy kind of flow alt with a little bit of snap aim test in general. Cool Nuck will be the first to break, but most misses aren't going to mean much on this when the map is 5 minutes long. Any one miss, especially this early, not going to have an impact overall. We're going to be looking at overall comfort. We're going to be looking at accuracy. We're going to be looking at maybe just that kind of cursor control through the flow patterns. Accuracy down at 94 for Vince. To wit, 97 on Conrad, who often will be found with slightly lower ac, not to the level that we often see of Verterix, who finished at 92% last map. But sometimes in that 97, low 98 range when others might be at high 98s to low 99s, so keep an eye on that. But really, for now, it's the only difference being made by the 200 combo advantage of the SoCal Triple FC over Cool Nuck and his one break early.
Yeah, this map, it really gets difficult during the chorus. That's where the more awkward flow patterns start to come in. You have some stop and go patterns that can really catch you off guard, some awkward 1/4 snaps. But here we go. Let's see who gets caught out. Easy Chalk gonna find the slider break instantly going into the chorus. It's matched by Cool Nuck, so it's still gonna be 2 FCs on each side, but there goes Vince as well. So now Conrad stands alone up against Utami and 315, both holding onto those exceptional AC FCs as Easy Chalk finds another drop.
Yeah, the accuracy over 99 for Utami and 315. There goes Vince. It is Conrad at 97 against 299 AC FCs. As I said, the accuracy can become a factor. Cool Nuck and Vince struggling to recover anything through these tricky flow patterns, having a lot of difficulty in this Ki time. Really not going well for them. Easy Chalk breaks at the end of it, but it is largely irrelevant what he does at this point. Utami and 315 are the ones to watch. 99.19, 99.70 on those FCs. Conrad doing everything he is able to at a 97 AC FC for himself, but not being helped nearly as much as he needs to be by Cool Nuck and Vince. The lead 260,000 points for SoCal. Still only halfway through, still a lot of time, still a lot of combo, but this is a good spot for SoCal to be in at this juncture.
315's AC is so insane right now, by the way. 99.7 on this is no easy feat. Very good from him, and even Utami up at 99, also exceptional accuracy. Meanwhile, Washington, all their hopes just lie on Conrad right now, but for his sake, they need to see the breaks come out from SoCal just about now. Utami and 315 are just running away with this because Cool Nuck and Vince aren't really offering much support to Conrad here.
Combos are starting to build back up a little for that support, but they need to hold for a very, very long time, and they're going to need quite a bit of help from SoCal for Washington to make any chance at emerging into the sunlight on the other side of this tunnel. But man, Utami and 315 just having their way with this pick. Into some difficult patterning as we hit the 2/3 mark, some more spaced and some more awkward flow, like those diamond patterns and some of these kind of cut and reversing streams. It's Cool Nuck to fall, it's Easy Chalk to fall. Conrad! I think he missed the slider head there, unless he missed the last note previously. Either way, that is the combo gone for Washington, and that is just the map gone for Washington if it wasn't already. 400k lead for SoCal, 2 FCs still alive, and only a 580 combo on the side of Washington to show for all of their efforts thus far into this map.
And who else other than Utami and 315 is going crazy into the chorus. Utami does drop the FC, but 315, the massive accuracy, still going in. See if he can lock out the FC. I'm pretty sure there's only 1 or 2 Hard Rock FCs on this leaderboard, so it'd be a really impressive feat to get this in the match.
looking pretty comfortable, you gotta say. The act just dropping below 99, but the cursor control looking fine. No signs of really bad shakes or anything, even through these slightly awkward linear aim patterns. And indeed, there is one FC with Hard Rock at all. It's an HDHR FC in rank 1. No other Hard Rock FCs on this leaderboard. So this would be pretty insane to see done in a match. He's got about 150 combo to go, but 315 staying steady, staying calm. Finally, though, it will be, I think, a slider miss right near the end on about the last pattern you could have possibly conceivably broken on. And unfortunately, the spell is broken, and there will be no FC on this day. But it is a very near thing, and it is still an amazing score. And SoCal puts their 5th point up on the board, now at match point by a massive margin of 852,000.
Now Washington, tournament life at stake now, needing to win 5 points in a row if they want to stay in the tournament up against a SoCal team that appears to be firing at all cylinders. So really curious to see what Washington can do here, see if they've got one more in them at least.
And they just, man, like, what options seem good? I mean, you called the hidden one as being very good for Washington, but just nothing else like that in the pool. You know, there's not really, there's the Nomad one, I guess, but there's just not a lot of slider tech to be had or flow tech.
It's Coco no Sose. It has to be Coco no Sose. Ethan Trix FC'd Coco no Sose in their previous match, and that's the type of thing that can win you another point. And here it is, Verderix picking Coco no Sose. We get another legendary long map picked. And now pressure is on for the man who is shitposting more than anything in the chat. See if... God fucking damn it.
Well, you know, he FC'd it once. Surely he just casually FC'd it again, right?
Hey, I mean,
lights
out SS'd Coco no Sose before the match, and then he SS'd Coco no Sose in the match. So, map, if you can hit the squares, I think you can be consistent on this, because everything apart from the squares, not too hard on this map. Unless you really struggle with some of those cross-screen linears, which I personally struggle on, but otherwise, like, this is a oddly consistent map I've seen.
I tell you, SoCal did not have an amazing time on this, their first go-round. They did still manage to put up nearly a 1.6 million team score. Washington in their match with that Ethan Trix FC put up a 1.76 million team score. So SoCal has room for improvement, and like Washington needs Ethan to FC again, or to have Verderix and Vince, who played this the first time, really improve their previous scores, or this could be very high risk, because that score dropping down from Ethan Trix would instantly mean their score from their first match was worse than SoCal's.
But when you're Washington in this situation, you just kind of need a prayer. You need a miracle to come out, and miracles, when you have any kind of base data that suggests that it's possible, it makes it instantly worth it. So now, Washington staking it all on Coco no Sose as God intended.
This is the Hail Mary of the match. Washington down to their last life, with SoCal 1 point away from the win. It's like, hey man, just go Coco no Sose, why not? Recoil and Yurki gonna break early stages. Those two, well, Recoil put up a 481k, and he's struggling a lot with his intro, just wildly off on the linear patterns. Yurki did not play this previously, don't have a score for him, but it's Utami, the lone FC for SoCal, Ethan Trix, the lone FC, who else for Washington? The other 4 players all breaking on the intro, but Washington gets the better of it. Fewer misses, higher accuracy, and an early small advantage on this lengthy classic map.
Lengthy is the word, and there are a few one-shot patterns mixed in there, most notably the squares, and they come at like the worst time. The first set of squares coming right in the middle of the first chorus section, so If you can manage to hit that after this beginning combo, then you end up with something like 700 combo going into the next section. Sorry. And here we go.
And next meaningful patterning here. Some awkward stuff to have to hit. Verderix will be the one to break in the first portion. We'll see who can make through the squares, and it's a full lobby reset except for Recoil, the only one to make it through the squares. And now SoCal advantage with the one player to hit that pattern on their side. Lead goes their way. The squares, the square jump square.
Recoil finding the drop on the linears I shouted out earlier. Those are deceptively hard. These linear jumps catching out Verderix, Vince, and Yercute now. But Ethantrix, his break on the square wasn't even on the square. He broke on the first note after the squares, I believe. So finding quite possibly the least lucky miss on the map, but still within touch for Washington. Just about a 50k lead for SoCal as we get into the next squares. These are big. Ethantrix gets through them as well as Utami, so it's going to be once again that 1v1 Ethantrix and Utami. With Utami having a slight accuracy advantage, this score lead is going to stay consistent.
And this is just a crazy battle to watch on those two middle screens at the bottom. Utami and Ethan kind of distancing everyone else in this lobby. We've seen many a break from Recoil, Yercute, Verderix, and Vince throughout the difficult patterns. The squares catching everyone out. But Utami and Ethantrix gonna have the 500 combo apiece coming into the next difficult section of the map. Triangles this time. Hit the first pattern there.
The triangles
is so scary, man.
The triangles don't hold a candle to the squares. Don't expect anyone to miss on that, but Ethantrix on the reverse slider, just missing a slider take. That's another one of the ways this map can just catch you off guard. That slider take rate, a little bit too high to be comfy. You have to have your aim on point, and he's cursor dancing. He knows that potentially just costed them the match. Because Yercute, Recoil, and Utami all holding on to the big combo, and Vince and Verderix can only match two of them.
And this is just Utami off to the races once more, looking to see if he can't top score yet another map this match and just put his stamp on this loser's bracket encounter. The combos are not that far apart on the supporting cast. As you said, Recoil, Yercute, Verderix, and Vince all on similar combo. But it is Utami at nearly 1,000, Ethantrix on just shy of 400, and the lead 140,000 points for SoCal. If they can get through these patterns here before the last section of the map, they will be home free as Vince finds the break. That might about just do it right there, to be honest.
And I think it will do it. Utami, Yercute, and Recoil all holding on to the big combo into the ending. There are no extremely difficult patterns left in this map. All of the squares have passed. All of the full screen linears have passed. But that is going to be a disconnect coming out from Yercute, so hold on a second.
Yeah, that's just, he's just gone. He left the match in the MP, so that is a disconnect. We'll take his score the last moment we saw it, which I don't have, but I'm sure somebody will grab. And that score will be applied to SoCal's total, which may still end up being enough considering the combo from Utami, but it may also not. So hang on just a second to see what happens here.
It definitely will be enough. Yercute definitely had more than 200k on this, right? He definitely has more than 200k. I think this is still a SoCal win. Utami breaking on the end, but despite the disconnect, SoCal gonna be, for the first time this tournament, having a very dominant victory up against Washington as they secure their top 6 now, moving on to the final stage.
Yeah, and that is the second easy win they had, I think, because they did go 5-0 in the first round, but since then it was a challenge, a couple of tiebreakers and a 6-4. But this one, it'll be a 6-1. I just to verify, we'll get a verification of the score. But I mean, he had enough score like that. It's going to be the SoCal win. So they're going to go onward. They'll await the loser of New York versus Maryland in the finals week, losers round 6, which will be another very challenging pick. another challenging match, I should say. But SoCal looking like, with Utami kind of returning to his old self, they might be a little bit back, and they might be a little bit scary coming into the late stages of this tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, they're always scary when Utami was firing at all cylinders. Like, I just remember the grand finals a couple years ago where Utami was literally the only player who could play the map pool up against Florida. And that one was just like, it was one of the most dominant single performances I've ever seen in a tournament. So if Utami can get back to that form, SoCal is most definitely going to be in competition for that top spot. And for Washington, eliminated at top 8 while missing some of their core players who have really propelled them to really great heights on some of their previous runs, I think is still a very good finish for them.
It feels like Washington is kind of in the spot... Whoa, what happened to my sheet here? Kind of in this spot of being permanently stuck a little bit in this standings position, but feels like every year they come in and put forth a good showing at the very least. So and I guess we're having them play tiebreaker. Quite honestly, I'm not really sure why. We've actually had a real tiebreaker match already. I'm good at Yap cost farming, but I don't know that I've got enough to go over for an entire tiebreaker, but I guess we'll do what we can.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to show off the custom map made for United States Cup. Thank you to Witch's Slave for the original song, and, you know, we have to take every opportunity to showcase this map that we can. It's a very cool custom that Illumitor's made for us.
Yeah, this custom was actually made for USC 2024 all the way back in, 2014? Really thoughtful of them to plan that far ahead. It was 2015, okay. That was late 2014, it was early 2015.
Yeah, they're trying to get the whole squad in there for this TB. Washington, notable vibe squad. But yeah, I mean, Furioso. There's a lot of lore to this map. So much lore. This map honestly created the USA tournament dynasty. I feel like every prospective USA tournament player watched the 2015 Grand Finals match and in turn got so motivated to play tournaments because of it that we just got that core roster that was so dominant for the whole next half decade.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you've seen so many changes in the USA rosters. You know, the first couple years they were similar, and then you had big changes. The 2017, 2018, 2019, you had new rosters. 2020 onward, you've had several new rosters. The roster turnover has been 4 players a year. But it's still a lot of players who have been around and who remember this first ever win back in 2015, or have at least been forced to remember it, have been shown it. So definitely a map and a match with that grand final in 2015 that has a very, very special place in Osu history for a lot of people. And Utami's running easy hidden, as is Caleb on this, so that's cool.
Yeah, let's see how much they miss. Lots
I'm gonna
from
go with
Caleb.
a lot.
Yeah, probably a lot. But yeah, I mean, this USC has been really I feel like we've had a lot of good storylines this USC so far. If we're just gonna go talk about random things, the first half of the tournament had some great storylines with Minnesota and Georgia having some crazy upsets. But now as we get later on, I feel like we're kind of having some return to the norm as the map pools start to really ramp up in difficulty.
Yeah, I was talking to USC historian Yoshi Lover about this, and there have been a lot of upsets this year, a ton of seed upsets in the early stages of the tournament. But even after all of that, our top 6. Somebody just Somebody just joined, I'm not sure why. Our top 6 is going to have the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, the number 3 seed, the number 4 seed, the number 5 seed, and the number 7 seed? I'm missing something here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I including that I shouldn't be? Oh, it doesn't include 3. I apologize. It's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, after everything, it's just all the top seeded teams still alive anyway.
And I love pulling up that when people start saying, oh my god, USC should have qualifiers. And then you just pull that up. Like, no, never put qualifiers in this tournament. This tournament does not need qualifiers. Everyone hates it anyway. Dada makes map pools differently every week anyway. No qualifiers. Keep them the fuck out.
I joined because I saw Furious and Melodia being played and then got really hyped for 2 seconds and realized that it was over.
Over. We've got the show match being played. Oh yeah, another thing to bring up that I actually talked about in another server. I was going through clips on this channel the other day and I saw a clip from an old map pool showcase where they just had a 1v1 of 2 players sight reading the map pool. And I was gonna say, is there any chance we could go back to that just for once as like a callback, you know?
I volunteer.
That era was actually pretty fun, watching players just 1v1 on the pool. I haven't seen that done since literally, I think, 2018. I think the last time I saw that happen was probably, like... God, I mean, USC that year did it. I think Team Duel, maybe, or Mod Wars, one of Minwoo's tournaments back then did it. But ever since, it's just been, you know, get replays and show replays. Yeah, I don't know that I see that forthcoming. I think, we had one weird showcase last year, though, right? I feel like we had one weird showcase last year. Did we do that last year?
I don't think you did that last year, but... The clip I saw had Jonah versus Kava Boy on like the 2018 quarterfinals. It was really funny. But yeah, I mean, I actually haven't even been watching this map. Who has a good score? Okay, everyone who isn't on easy has 300k.
So we can recap so far. We have one match left to come still. New York versus Maryland, our final winner's bracket match tomorrow night. Obviously, everybody who was watching this match probably saw the Virginia NorCal tiebreaker last match, where we saw this map played for real stakes, with Rectagon going absolutely crazy. Really, most matches not all that close this week otherwise. SoCal 6-4 over Oregon, but other than that, you had Pennsylvania with the pretty surprising upset 6-3 over Florida, then getting just kind of stomped out, unfortunately, by Texas, who are looking to finally be playing to expectations, 6-2 in that match. Washington 6-1 over Georgia, missing Razor Fruit, then getting 6-1 right back by the SoCal team. I think everything kind of went as you would anticipate it this week, other than Pennsylvania over Florida. Not much too surprising. But some good performances from some of these top teams, the best teams rising to the occasion when it matters most, as they tend to in this tournament. And one match left in semifinals weekend. The second winner's finalist will be determined. It'll be either New York or Maryland facing off against Virginia in the winner's bracket final next week. The loser of that will drop down to face this SoCal team that we just saw run roughshod over Washington. So that's going to be an exciting one tomorrow night, 2 UTC, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday night. I believe that one is going to be Miles back in alongside Hubba for the cast there. And this does it for a long block this evening. We've had 3 matches back to back to back. We had one of them very, very close. The other 2, unfortunately, not so close, but we saw some good performances, and we're getting an idea, I think, of what the best teams truly are in this tournament, and we're going to have an exciting top 6 in the finals weekend in a week's time. So I would like to thank everyone for being here, all of our staff who've been involved in these matches tonight, streamers, commentators, referees. Thank you all for watching. Congratulations to the winners this evening. We have Texas South California and Virginia advancing onward with wins. North California advancing onward despite their defeat, dropping down into losers bracket. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. It'll be 2 UTC Tuesday for the last match, followed by the finals map pool showcase. I've been T1G. Thank you to Miles and Juno for being here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow as the semifinals weekend of USC 2024 finally, at long last, will be wrapping up.